It's time for the Manhattan Pizza postgame show on the Gameday Broadcast Network. Manhattan Pizza, serving the best dang pizza in town. Now let's rejoin the broadcast team on the Gameday Broadcast Network.
And we welcome you back to our Manhattan Pizza postgame show here on the Gameday Broadcast Network. Andy Hayes, George Khalsa with you. Final score tonight, 2-0. The Centreville Wildcats improved to 9-2 on the season with a 2-0 shutout of Westfield with 4 hits today, 1 error to Westfield's 3 hits and 4 errors. And George, it was an entertaining game to say the least here. Let's go back and take a look at some of the highlights here in this one. And no question about it, the Bulldogs had their chances here, didn't they?
They sure did, and they took a gutsy pitching performance by Drew Woodruff. And there's your first highlight is the first batter.
Carson Bach started things off for Centreville with a triple out to right field, and he would later score as Lorenzo Allensworth tossed it over to third, but threw it behind the third baseman, John Gazelle, and that allowed Bach to come home. And Centreville took the early 1-0 lead. It kind of looked like Westfield would run into some big trouble here in this inning, but Allensworth was able to battle out of it, and they were able to avoid giving up any more runs here, George. That kept it somewhat close, even though they had 3 errors in that first inning.
Lorenzo Allensworth was pitching at a deficit because, especially that first inning with the 3 errors, of which 1 was his own. But he kept his team in the game. He did a good job, 5 innings, allowing 2 runs. Now, one of the runs was on a home run by Matt Sedlock, which we'll see in a few moments.
Yeah, this is still in the first inning. Again, these errors did not hurt Westfield. Now in the second inning, and the defense started to play a little better for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
That was key here, as they were really reeling after that first inning, but only giving up 1. It was still a close ball game here as we take a look at Allensworth and Daniel Woodruff. He was fabulous today. Third inning action now. We head with 1-0 as our score. Scott Walter peppers one out there. Nice play in left field for the Bulldogs. That one made by Aaron Tucker. We did see some nice defensive plays today to go along with some of the ones we were just talking about. Good hit to the right side of the infield there for Collins. Nick Collins had a decent day for the Bulldogs, but Woodruff tough today, George. His line, what did he end up with here this afternoon?
7 innings, 3 hits, no runs on 86 pitches, and he was extended in that last inning. But, I thought Westfield was getting good swings all night. It's just the Centreville fielders were picking the ball up and making the right throw. They only made 1 error, and that didn't lead to anything.
Lorenzo Allensworth, I thought, pitched pretty well today. I mean, and really the way this kind of thing is unfolded here with the highlights, a little unfair to him. I mean, some of those plays should have been made out in the field, and he threw a lot of ground balls. I mean, you got to make those plays. There's another one. This was a nice play by Scoville over there, but Westfield just not doing the little things that we normally see them do. As Tucker comes up, Aaron Tucker with a nice hit in the gap. He threatened, but I'll tell you what, maybe the play of the game that we have to talk about here was what happened with Tucker on second, and a strikeout. McLaughlin gets rung up, and then Jake Bainey throws it into left field, but A.J. Catalano comes up and rifles the ball home, and they get him. They get Tucker.
That was a very strong
throw. That was a huge
throw.
Play, and that sends us to the 5th, and this is where Matt Sedlock comes up and says, guys, we need a little extra insurance, and he sends it over the left field wall for a solo shot. That made it 2-0.
Well, that was
a big hit right there.
That's the one you can't defend, and Matt Sedlock hit that against a wind, 10, 15 mile an hour wind coming in, and then it was up to Drew Woodruff,
Daniel
Woodruff,
yep,
to finish things up.
And he would. I mean, he did a nice job. Really only ran into trouble in the 7th inning. It was a nice play there by Matt Whalen, the first baseman. Started to get kind of behind in counts, but would find his way back Michael Camerata came in and pitched nicely for Westfield. He got into the ball game in the 6th inning. Did a nice job. Great play up here by Ben Stein, almost getting the runner out down at first base, but he would not come around and score. Bottom line is Centreville made some nice defensive plays here in this one.
Jake Cole scalded the ball. Now that was Centreville's only error of the game. It did not lead to any harm.
It got interesting in the 7th, George, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
That's when things started to get a little bit tight here for Centreville. They hadn't run into much trouble until that point. They played pretty good defense all the way around. But in the 7th, this is when things got a little bit tight as Camerata did a nice job here doubling up the Wildcats to get back into the dugout with a chance here to maybe make something happen. And they rung up Walter there to end the inning. This is when things started to happen for Westfield.
On this swing,
Patrick McLaughlin peppered it out into the center field fence, and he was aboard with a stand-up double with nobody out.
C.J. Evans did all he could do, but that ball was over his glove. Then a hit batsman.
That put Chris Nicole on down at first base.
The ball just hit the sleeve.
So now you have first and second with nobody out. A big strikeout there from Woodruff. That was huge. That gave it 1 out. Then McGill came to the plate. He walked to load the bases, and now there's 1 away with bases loaded. And up to the plate is Mason Scoville. He fights off several good pitches from Woodruff and then pops up out to Catalano. Nobody could score, so now there's 2 away. And finally, it's a ground out down to Scott Walter that ends the game. And the Wildcats victorious. They improved to 9-2 on the season. And they win it 2-0 here over the Westfield Bulldogs. George, final thought in this one. A pretty good ball game here from the Concorde District tonight.
A good ball game, and the team that was more fundamentally sound won the game. That was Centreville. They caught the ball. They did a great job in the field. Their pitcher, very impressive, Daniel Woodruff, under pressure in that last inning. Notice the manager for Centreville,
Scott Findley.
He did not even come out to the mound, despite the fact you had bases loaded with 1 out. He's telling Daniel, "You're my guy. You finish it up." And Daniel Woodruff finished it.
All right, folks, that's it for us here in the booth. Our final score, 2-0. We want to thank our entire staff, Helene Shane, Emily Vocherbeck, Marnie Malin, and for George Khalsa, I'm Andy Hayes, signing off. We'll see you next time here on the Game Day Broadcast Network.
It was 3-1. Knew it was going to be a fastball coming because he didn't come set at all, but he just left it over the plate, and I did what I could.
This one hit hard out towards left. Got a chance, and it will leave the yard. Home run. Matt Sedlock with the towering blast to left field.
I think we've been hitting the ball and staying within ourselves. We've been solid defensively, good behind our pitching. I don't know, I think we're a young team and led by some good quality seniors, and we're just all playing together and we just have good team bonding quality.
I mean, he's had a couple this year and they've all been ridiculously just bombs.
We're really just buying an approach. You know, we're just gap away for the most part. You know, tonight we got a little bit outside of our comfort area. And we started, try to hit the pool side ball, and their pitcher did a real nice job keeping us off balance.
I mean, it's big. This is a lot of ours, first time being Westfield, but I mean, it's just another game. We got to go after the next one.
Yeah, Daniel, he's definitely got ice water in his veins, but at the same time, he likes to get my blood pressure up there a little bit. You know, he got the save against West Potomac a little bit earlier in the season with the winning run on base, so I know he could get out of it. Got a little bit of trouble there. Like I said, ice water in his veins. I know he could do a good job.
Oh man, it was pretty nerve-wracking, but I knew we could pull it out because we're good when it comes down to it. I knew he'd get the job done from the beginning of the day, and his defense always has him behind his back.
I mean, our defense was great. I rolled a lot of ground balls, and they were always behind me. I think we only had 1 error tonight. They did great behind me. I think this year we can hit real well. we get a lot of hits. That gets us a lot of runs made. So I think it's just stay within yourself, stay back on the ball, and drive it.
You know, we're kind of rolling here, which is good. You know, especially in the district, which is always very tough. You know, getting a win at Westfield, that's a big deal here. So especially with our group. You know, they really come together. You know, they each pick each other up. It's really a group of 24. It's not really, you know, best 9 out there. And, you know, there's guys that want to get time, but you know, they're all picking each other up, and it's great to see it. I mean, it's been a real exciting year. You know, I just hope we can get the momentum rolling into May.